There was an ace in the number one spot this weekend at the box office, and we're going to find out which one it was right now. I'm Adam. This is Does It Hold Up? And as always on Tuesdays, we take a look at what were the top 10 movies. Starting off with number one, it was Challengers. Made just over $15 million, which I think is really low for a movie that had a lot of hype coming into it. It had been pushed back quite a few times. Release date kept getting pushed. People were really hyped to see this one, so to see it only make $15 million says something about the movie. I'm not sure what though, because a lot of the reviews I've been seeing are like, this movie's a 4-star movie, this movie's a 5-star movie. It's a great movie, but nobody turned out for it, so I'm pretty sure all those reviews are just coming from people who were desperate to see it. In second place is another new movie called Unsung Hero. Didn't even know this movie was a thing, but it's about a family that moves from Australia to America, and their faith helps them build a life. Yep. So it brought in $7.7 million. A lot of these faith-based movies do really well, much better than I ever thought they would, and it's kind of cool. In third place is Godzilla Kong: The New Empire in its fifth week with another $7.2 million, only a 25% drop. It's now gone over $181 million domestically. In fourth place in its third week is Civil War with just over $7 million, $4,038 to be precise, over that $7 million, a 38% drop, $56.2 million already. But I'm pretty sure that one's going to start slipping quite quickly now, going to be out of the top 10 in a week or two. In fifth place is Abigail in its second weekend with $5.2 million, only a 49% drop. That sounds like a really big number. Why would I say only 49%? That's because usually horror movies have a drastic drop in the second weekend. We've seen movies in the horror genre fall 70+% regularly in its second weekend. So to hold and only have a 49% drop, that's really impressive for a horror movie. It's taken in $18.7 million domestically so far. In sixth place in its second weekend is the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare with $3.8 million, a 57% drop, $15.4 million. Week 8 for Kung Fu Panda, and it takes 7th place, a 23% drop for just around $3.6 million. It's still tracking ahead of Godzilla and Kong, but not by much. It's taken in $185 million here at the domestic box office. Godzilla and Kong is coming up pretty fast on it. In 8th place is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire in its 6th week with $3.2 million, a 27% drop, $107.4 million so far. In week 9, which may be its last week in the top 10, is Dune Part 2 with just over $2 million, a 31% drop, about $280 million to be the biggest movie of the year so far. And in 10th place, new to the list, is Boy Kills World, the new Bill Skarsgård movie about a deaf and mute guy who just kills a lot of people. We checked it out this past weekend. There is a review for it on the channel right now, so when you're done watching this, if you haven't already listened to that review, go check it out. Click the video at the end to see it. It made $1.6 million, and that's where it stands so far domestically. 3 movies fell out of the top 10 this past weekend. After just 1 week, Spy Family Code White falls out of the top 10. The First Omen and Monkey Man both fall out after 3 weeks each. We're going to take a look at the 2023 versus 2024 weekend-to-weekend comparison chart next. And over the last couple of weeks, we have been falling very far behind 2023, and that trend continued this past weekend. I don't know what to tell you. Movies aren't really drawing people into theaters right now. There hasn't been any big hits. Now, we are going into May at the end of this week, which starts the summer movie season. So there's going to be a lot of big movies coming out. Are we going to be able to catch something that just blows up, explodes into a huge hit, and pass up 2023? Who knows? But this past weekend, 2024 made $64.17 million, which was still far below 2023's same weekend, the 17th weekend, with just over $100 million. But as you can see, that line for 2023 is dipping very quickly over the last couple of weeks, where 2024's already much lower, but it's kind of staying level, meaning there's a chance we can match it this coming weekend. But I doubt it, considering last year, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 opened on the 18th weekend, and I don't think we have anything big coming that can match that. Let's take a look at the genre distribution for 2024. How much money have we made total at the box office, and what genre of movies have made the most money out of that? I don't know. It's kind of fun to look at. Total gross so far for 2024 has been $2,032,808,805 at the domestic box office. An action movie is still far and away leading the entire pack with 39.44%. Comedies are in second place with 17.19%. Dramas in third with 15.96%. Musicals with 8.63%. Adventure 6.22%. Horror with 4.91%. And thriller suspense with 3.7%. Romantic comedies is the last one that gets its own grouping here with 3.13%. That order has been the same for the last couple of weeks. The numbers have just varied slightly, but going into the summer movie season, we're going to see a lot of that change very quickly. All other movies make up 0.82% at the box office. Next, we're going to take a look at what are the top 10 movies so far of 2024. Movies that only made money this year. So if it came out in 2023, that's fine. But we're only going to count the money that you made so far in 2024. It didn't change from last week, so we're just going to take a look at it real quick because the order's the same, but there is one thing I want to point out here. So Dune Part 2 is number 1, Kung Fu Panda 4 in second, Godzilla Kong 3rd, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire in 4th, and Bob Marley still in 5th place. But what's interesting is it's still playing in theaters. Is it going to catch Ghostbusters? Absolutely not. But last week to this week, it made another like $100,000, meaning they're still letting it play in theaters because I think they're hoping there might be another $3 million there and they can get to that $100 million threshold. I don't think they're going to get there, but it is very interesting to know that this movie is still out there playing, and I don't know why. Figured this one had its run. But I guess when you don't have a lot of movies to showcase at your theater, you kind of play whatever's available. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, the final 5 are Wonka, Migration, Mean Girls, The Beekeeper, Anyone But You, in exactly the same order, with exactly the same numbers. So this past weekend, Challengers was a very successful movie, based on its budget, but why wasn't it better? I haven't seen the movie yet, so I can't really speak on the quality of the movie, but maybe you guys can let me know. Have you seen Challengers yet? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think it deserved to do better at the box office, or do you think 15 million was just a little too high for it? I personally think maybe pushing the movie back and back and back because of the strikes and people getting hyped for it. You can only hold your hype for a movie so long before you kind of just give up on it. And that's what might have happened with Challengers. In other news as well, speaking of movies that are going to lose their hype by the time they come out, Kraven the Hunter, yes, Sony's Kraven the Hunter, was pushed back yet again. It's no longer coming out in August of this year. It has actually been pushed back to the middle of December because they moved the Karate Kid remake to next year. So it pushed back to that. I don't know what that means. Maybe they know they got a really crappy movie on their hands and they either need to fix it or don't want to get embarrassed in the middle of summer. Who knows? But this movie's supposed to have come out last year, got pushed. Supposed to come out the end of last year, got pushed. The beginning of this year, got pushed. Middle of this year, got pushed. Won't come out until the end of the year. Guys, we don't really like the Sony Spider-Verse anyway. They don't really make good movies, as seen with Madam Web earlier this year. Maybe they're trying to distance themselves from, that piece of shit. Or maybe they're going to go do reshoots and make the movie better. Either way, I think it's going to be way too long by the time that movie comes out, and we're going to see a really big drop in that opening weekend compared to if it had come out when it was originally supposed to. It's a weird world out there. We all just live in it. All right, that's it for the box office this week. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about anything that I talked about, and what's your thoughts on Challengers or Kraven the Hunter being pushed back. I'll be back at the end of this week with a review for, I don't know, a movie, something. I will definitely check it out, whatever it is, and make a review for it. I'll be back again next Tuesday with another box office roundup to see if it held up to last year. Until then, be good to yourself, be kind to others, and as always, keep watching movies.